Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. Now we're going to work on what to do if we're writing and we're not sure how to spell a word. Before we begin, I'm going to say a sound, and I want you to write down the letter that makes that sound. Boys and girls, listen. If you don't have your things together, now would be the time to pause this video and go get your letters and your pencil and a piece of paper. Okay, so here we go. The first sound that I want you to write a letter for is the D sound. What letter makes the D sound? Like in dog. Yes. Okay, be very careful when you do it because you want to make your doorknob first and then your door. Okay? Letter D says D, D. And make sure your doorknob comes before the door because you can't open a door without a doorknob. Okay, the next sound I want you to write down is the sound of, the letter for the sound of R, like in rabbit, rabbit. What letter makes the R sound? R. If you wrote letter R, you're right. Letter R says R. And when we're spelling and we need to spell that sound, we write it with the letter R. What letter would you write to represent this sound? Like an itchy. Itchy. What letter spells the sound? Letter I spells the sound like an itchy. What letter would you write to spell the sound? Like an olive or octopus. Look at my mouth, it'll give you a clue. If you wrote letter O, you would be right. It's a vowel, it's open and voiced, Okay, what two letters do we know now that can make the K sound? What are two different ways that we know how to spell the K sound? Letter K, like in kite, and letter C, like in cat. Both spell the K sound. And we'll learn a rule for when to use each one later on. Okay, you ready? Now then, we're ready to slow down and spell. And we're going to use our letters to build the word, and then we're going to practice writing the word because we need to practice writing our letters too. So, the first word I want you to spell is the word rib. Say rib with me. Rib. Good. Now let's pound it to see how many syllables the word rib has. Ready? Rib. Rib. How many times did we pound? We pounded out rib one time. There's one syllable in the word rib. You're right. Now then, after we pound out the syllables, we tap the sounds. Watch me. R, I, B. Do it with me. R, I, B. You do it. How many sounds? 3 sounds. R, I, B. Now we have to think about that first sound. What's the first sound in rib? R, I, B. R, I, B. The first sound is R. And what letter makes that sound? Letter R. That's right. Letter R says R. I didn't claim very well, did it? Letter R says R. Good. Let's think about the second sound. Here we go. Tap it out with me. R, I, B. What's the middle sound, the second sound in rib? R, I, letter I. Letter I says I. Good job. Last sound. Here we go. R, I, B. What's the last sound that you hear in rib? You hear the B sound, and it is spelled with what letter? Letter B. Okay, when you're looking up at those letters, how can you help yourself remember which one is the B and which one is the D? The bat comes first. You bat the ball. So I'm going to look up here. Here's a letter B. It has the bat and then the ball. Rib. Good job. That word is rib. Let's check it. Remember, we have to check it by touching and saying it slowly, and saying it fast like a word. So here we go. Rib, rib, rib. Were we right? We were right. Okay, now then, we're going to change that word rib to rig. Say rig. Rig. Let's tap it out. R-I-G. What's the last sound? G. What's the last sound in rib? Let's check and see if that's the one that's different. Let's touch each one and say rib. Now let's say rig. Rig. What changes? The last sound changes. The last sound changes, and let's see if we can tap it out and see what letter makes that last sound. Here we go. Rig. R-I-G. G. What letter says G? Letter G. Letter G says rig. Now I want you to go ahead and write that too, because I want you to practice writing those letters. So you're going to do R-I-G and practice writing it down. Good job. That's the word rig. Good. Okay, so we have rig. If we want to change one letter in rig and change that word to rag, what would we do? So we've got rig, and we're going to change it to rag. Tap that with me. R-A-G. What changes? R-I-G. Touch yours. R-I-G. Now say rag. R-A-G. What changes in that word? The vowel. The vowel is no longer an I. It's now what? Yes, rag. It's an A. Good. Let's write that word. Are you ready so we can practice writing and saying the sounds? Watch me. R-A-G. I want you to do that. R-A-G. Good job. Let's check it and make sure we're right. R-A-G. Rag. Rag. What's our word? Rag. Good job. Let's change one letter in rag, and let's change rag to bag. So say bag. Bag. One syllable. Let's tap it. B-ag. Let's check it here. B-ag. Which letter is different? The beginning. It's not rag anymore. The ag stays the same. And now we're going to have bag. B-ag. Tap it out with me. B-ag. So what letter is at the beginning of that word, bag? We hear the B sound, and we know that's letter B. Now, how can I help myself in finding the B? The bat and then the ball. So I'm going to get my bat and then the ball, letter B. Now let's check it. B-ag, bag, bag. That word is bag. Let's practice writing it and saying it slowly. Watch me. B. Made my bat and then the ball. A. G. And I want to make sure my G comes down long, down below the line. That word is bag. Okay, we are going to change one letter again, and we will change bag to big. Let's tap out big. B-ig. B-ig. Touch yours. B-ig. What changes to make bag into big? The vowel again. So we're going to take out the vowel. Take out your vowel. Our B is the same and the G is the same. But we've got to figure out what is our vowel in big. Ready? Tap it out. B-I-G. Do it with me. B-I-G. What letter should we put there to represent the I sound in the middle of big? Yes. I-I-I-G. I-I-I. There it is. Big. B-ig. And because I want you to practice writing your letters, let's practice it and say it slowly. Just like this. B-ig. I want you to do it. Good job. Okay, we're going to do one more. and you're really going to have to pay attention. I want you to do this one by yourself. We have the word big, big, and we want to change one letter and change big into dig, dig. So what do I need to do to big in order to make the word dig? Good. You remembered to tap it out. D-ig. Good job. Now, what do I need to do? What stays the same? The ig stays the same. That's right. And what do I need to do to make that big? I have to have a d. What letter? Letter D. And remember, when I choose the D, I have the doorknob and then the door. You can't open the door without the doorknob. So what word do I have now? Check it. Dig, dig, dig. Good job. Okay, boys and girls, this is what I needed you to learn today. When you are writing and you have to write a word and you're not sure how to spell it, there are some things you can do to help yourself. You can pound the syllables to see how many syllables there are, and then you can tap out the sounds in each word. And you can use letters to build it, or you can just write it down slowly like we did here.